Got a echo. There we go. And we're gonna call the meeting to order and get started with introductions. And so I'm gonna call out names and you introduce yourself, starting with Alan Barr.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the CEO and Chief Catalyst for Creative Change. We do large-scale strategic change efforts.
Thank you, Alan. Next is Amy Kratz.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm a talent development liaison for the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity.
Thanks, Amy. Next is Andrew McNeely.
Good afternoon, Andrew McNeely, Manager of Energy Solutions for Upper Peninsula Power Company.
Thank you. Next is Antonio Adon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Antonio Adon, Housing Specialist and Director of the Marquette County Land Bank.
Thanks, Antonio. Then we have Deanna Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Deanna Johnson, Executive Director, Marquette County Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you. Next, we have Donna LaCourte.
Donna LaCourte, Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Thank you. And Dottie LaJoy.
Good afternoon, Dottie LaJoy, Executive Director of QPAD.
Thanks, Dottie. Elise Burr.
Good afternoon, Director of the Northern Michigan University Center for Rural Health.
Thank you. Next, we have Emily Susi. Oh, we're gonna skip her. She's muted, so she was my echo. Emily Leach.
Hello, everybody. Emily Leach, Senior Planner with the County of Marquette.
Thank you. Next, we have Holly Toma.
Holly Toma with USDA Rural Development out of Gladstone.
Thank you, Holly. Jamie Van Buren.
Hello, Jamie Van Buren, Operations Manager with InvestUP.
Thank you. Jessica Walter.
Hi, everybody. Jessica Walter with QPAD, and I'm having some weird video things going on right now.
Next is Kathleen.
Hi, I'm Kathleen from the Superior Watershed Partnership.
Hi, nice to have you.
Yeah.
Next is Nikki Bash.
Oops, hi. Nikki Bash. I'm with Great Lakes Housing Services.
Please have you, Nikki. Next we have Patricia West.
Hi, I'm Patricia West. I work for the City of Gladstone, and I will be stepping into community development in May.
Fantastic. Looking forward to your new role.
Thank you.
Next we have Ryan Carrick.
Ryan Carrick, Community Planner with QPAD.
Thank you, Ryan. Victoria George.
Victoria George with Schoolcraft Tourism and Commerce and EDC.
Nice to have you, Victoria. Last but not least is Vince Bevins.
Thank you, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. Vince Bevins with the Michigan Department of Transportation out of Escanaba.
Thank you, Vince. And was anybody not mentioned on the call that I missed? All right. Well, if not, we're going to get started here. And so we have a guest speaker presentation from Amy Kratz, our talent development liaison. And I'm gonna lead it off. She's gonna tell us about her role here and how she's expecting to work with the UP economic development ecosystem. So if you're ready, Amy, please take it away.
I am. I have a presentation that I want to share. Can I just share that now?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Says someone else is sharing. Okay. All right. Hopefully everybody can see that. I'll put it in. All right, everybody can see my slides?
Yes.
So good afternoon, everybody. I think Dana is supposed to be on here too. I sent her the link. I forwarded it to her because she said she didn't have one.
Yep,
Lalone.
I see Dana on. Yep.
Okay, good. So my name is Amy Kratz. I'm located in Gulliver, Michigan, so in the Upper Peninsula. I am the Talent Development Liaison for the Region 1, which is the UP, and my industry of subject matter expert is construction for the whole state of Michigan. So for Region 1, I focus on everything up here in the UP, and for the whole state, I focus on just construction. So I'm going to be pretty busy here in the next couple months with construction month. So talent development liaisons are here for engaging employers and educators to address talent needs focused on mid and long-term developmental gaps. We
Amy,
engage employer. Yeah.
before you continue, your slides are showing the presentations screen with 2 slides and some messaging in front of it instead of the main screen.
Oh, okay. See.
So it's showing the one your mouse is on right now, not the presentation screen.
So if you want to fix that, you can stop share and create a new share and
Okay.
select a different window.
Okay, stop share.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Let's see. Is that better?
So if you enter presentation mode and keep that presentation mode on and stop sharing their screen and create a new share, you can choose your second window.
Okay. It only gives me one option.
I feel like we could still see the slides and the content. So I mean, I would be okay with
Agreed.
you just continuing. I don't know if everyone else feels that
We
way.
don't need perfect.
Okay. I'll reshare it then, 1 sec. I gotta pull it back up on my end. Okay. Sorry about this, you guys. All right, is that better?
Looks good to me.
Okay. Okay, so I was on. So the talent development liaison role, we are responsible for more than one region in which we operate on a day-to-day basis. My region, of course, like I said, is the Upper Peninsula. but I can pull in any other talent development liaison from across the state to come and help with anything that they are subject matters in, such as healthcare or anything like that. So we serve as subject matter experts for industries and across the region, and we serve as connectors, conveners, and navigators to ensure that employers and educators, EDOs, and other organizations across the state are able to connect and work together so that we're not in different silos. So we're all together as one team. So many times we're in different silos and it's just hard with so many different people working on the same thing. Why not get together and work on it together? We don't recruit employers or job seekers. We provide advocacy, technical assistance, and coordination of state resources. Our guiding principles is we ensure access to talent and talent-related services, strategic employer and education partnerships and outreach to employers, talent problem solving that includes unique approaches to career pathways, including recruitment, training, and retention, in-depth understanding of programs and services, and exemplary customer service for employers and partners. Our partners that we have, we partner with Michigan Works Business Services team. We help with different grants across the state and Michigan Works, such as the Work Innovation Opportunity Act or employer-led collaboratives. You have heard of the MICA grant. Those are some grants that we work on with Michigan Works. MEDC, we can help coordinate meetings with MEDC business development managers for upcoming businesses or those businesses that are looking for just extra help. We connect, coordinate, and communicate talent resources to our partners, and other partners are workforce development institutes, education institutes, labor unions, other LEO bureaus, and EDOs across the state. Some of our programs are the Going Pro Talent Fund. Hang on, my screen is funky. The Going Pro Talent Fund, which this grant helps employers in demand driven occupations. And this is primarily run through Michigan Works. I am a talent pipeline manager, so I went through the talent pipeline management system, and that system is a demand-driven employer-led approach to close the skill gaps and build pipelines of talent aligned to dynamic business needs. I will be working with MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation, on creating a talent pipeline in career pathways for the transportation system because of all the initiatives that are going on with roads. So I'm going to be working with different people across MDOT in order to get career pathways, and we've already had some meetings with some ISDs, and I'm looking at more meetings with other ISDs because we want to try to get into the K through 12 grades so that we can get these careers in the minds of students as they're growing up and they're going through their career pathways in school, in high school, and into college, or going into apprenticeships. I work with employer-led collaboratives, and these bring small groups of businesses together. So that's kind of part of the talent pipeline management system, is the employer-led collaboratives, where we come together to solve common issues such as shortages in employment or training issues, or trying to find training providers or bring those training providers to the state of Michigan so that we can potentially upskill either current employees or employees who are looking for jobs with those different employers. Michigan Works in the UP has a few employer-led collaboratives already. It's called the One UP program, and they have the healthcare, they have hospitality and tourism, as well as a manufacturing collaborative. And I think that they've been looking at other collaboratives to do too. Other things are registered apprenticeship programs. you could probably see my notes there. Michigan has more than 22,000 registered apprentices and ranks 4th nationally in the total number of active apprentices and has more than 850 active registered apprenticeships programs. More than 8,400 new registered apprenticeships started in programs in 2024, and that's the most on record for one single year. And there's a good reason we're seeing those numbers continue to increase 1 year after completion of an apprenticeship. 93.9% of graduates are employed and earning a median annual salary range of $80,720 a year, which is an 8% increase over the previous year. Other programs, we just sunsetted our MyReach program, which was Michigan Rural Enhanced Access to Careers in Healthcare. When I worked at Michigan Works, we worked with many different students who were able to use the MyReach program and obtain careers in healthcare. The MyCoach program is a Michigan Career Opportunity Academy for community health, and this program supports high school graduates across the state and adults interested in pursuing a career in healthcare. It'll develop high school graduates and get them their credentials that they need in order to work in the healthcare. They start from MyCoach to possibly moving up in career pathways to nurse practitioners. So it's a pretty great program, and there's some money there that can help those individuals go up the ranks in their career pathways. The EV Workforce Hub is kind of, I guess, on hold a little bit right now due to some holds in the federal government. So we're still kind of working on that on our end, but we're just waiting for some money to come through so then we can, continue to work on that workforce hub across the state. The biggest one that we've been working on is building Michigan's infrastructure workforce program. So this helps individuals obtain things like high-speed internet, clean water, state-of-the-art infrastructure, economic growth, and we've been investing in infrastructure in the workforce so that these individuals can, start building on their career and their credentials and upskilling so that they can work in different industries such as construction, transportation, as well as getting a degree in engineering in some sort. So to accomplish these goals, we've been working with Eagle. We've been working with the Michigan High-Speed Internet Office of Michigan and other departments across the state of Michigan. So summary of services, we provide support and advocacy. We provide technical assistance and encourage collaborations. We don't recruit, develop training, or attract talent. However, I can connect as a connector and a convener. I can connect individuals to the proper channels that they need to go through in order to, get their training, or connect businesses and training developers together so then they can develop those career pathways. Attracting talent, I can work with Michigan Works in order to help somebody or a business attract talent that way, and as well as any other organization across the state. So basically here is a connector to connect people and build relationships. So the team. So if you want to get involved but don't know where to start, you can go to michigan.gov/sector strategies to figure out who is in other regions and who is specializing in what industry. So each region are connected through me. So you can come to me and then I can get you to the correct person. I don't know if some of you were at the meeting that Eric Keller had on the workforce initiatives that we've been doing, but he was up here in the UP in February during the dog sled races, and he gave a spiel on what he's been doing in the industry. So industry sector career projections, we work in natural resources and mining. So if you can see, there's different projections here for different industry sectors on what the percent change and increases. This is from milimi.org, and this is into 2032. And hopefully these still stay the same, but we're not really sure right now what is going to happen with everything. So this is kind of what we're working on right now, is just working on trying to get these numbers correct in our changing times. So my industry, of course, is the construction industry, and there's different clusters in the construction industry, and a lot of students don't know that or are aware that construction, road construction, it's not just like building houses, it's not just building bridges or labor work. There's so many different things that go into the construction cluster. There's professional and business services, there's wholesale and construction supply, construction materials and machinery, manufacturing, and other services in construction are logging, mining, construction lending, and leasing. So these are different professions that people can go. There's also secretarial and business office jobs that are needed in the construction industry, as well as engineering. So that it's just a whole encompassing part of construction, and there's just little different clusters in construction that I'm trying to divvy out and work on. And if you go to any of the construction fairs that are across the state that are coming up in May, there's one in the UP on May 7th. There's a construction career fair that Mike Smith is putting on in St. Ignace, and there's going to be different businesses there, as well as unions, to talk to students or anybody who might be interested in obtaining a job in the construction industry. And then downstate, there's some in Detroit and Lansing. Battle Creek has a bunch. So some of the partners that I work with in the construction industry, of course, is UPCC, the UP Construction Council, the National Association of Women in Construction, from the Grand Rapids NAWIC chapter, Helmets to Hard Hats. So Helmets to Hard Hats is a really cool program that is put on by the Veterans Career Services. And this program helps individuals who are returning citizens from being in the military, and they get hands-on training and get their transferable skills from being in the military to the hard hats to in construction. So that's a really cool program that the veterans put on. I work with the Kalamazoo chapter, Lansing chapter, Michigan Construction Careers, Michigan Resources Apprenticeship Opportunities, Women in Skilled Build Trades, and then Build Your Future. Dana's going to talk a little bit more about WIST and some of the apprenticeship programs that she's going to be working on. So that's kind of a little precursor to hers. And then, of course, the unions that I work with are Carpenters Apprenticeship, Cement Masons, Detroit Bricklayers, Ironworkers Apprenticeship, Lansing Bricklayers, MLTAI, and then Operating Engineers, 324. They have a big construction fair going on. I believe it is April 30th and May 1st. And they just had a women's one like March 13th that they put on. So that was really cool. Women from across the state were able to go and see what was available to them in careers in construction, and what kind of credentials they needed or training they needed, if they just needed high school or if they needed more than that. And then these are kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see them at all, but I can always send these to Ryan and he can share these with you. Or you can click on my links in the PowerPoint presentation. But this just gives you an outlook on the different construction occupations that are coming down the pipeline, and things that individuals can look at for when they're looking into careers in construction. They can look at what the wages are going to be, what their training is going to be needed, if they need high school diploma, or like I said earlier, if they need to go up and they need to get their bachelor's or master's degree. These resources will let somebody know exactly what they need. And then there are various certifications in the construction industry. If you want to be somebody who owns a construction company, as in building houses, you need to get your builder's license, and you can get that through the state of Michigan, and these resources will walk you through that. Other career pathways that people can go, you can go to ONET online and look at onet.com to see if it's going to be a good fit for you, and it'll tell you, what what you can make as a construction laborer. You can make $18 an hour starting out in some places, how much you can make as a carpenter, all the way up to project management specialists. Pure Michigan Talent Connect is another great resource for individuals to go on to search for different careers in construction. And then the Michigan Construction Industry Workforce Analysis Report is a really good report to look at as well for anybody going into those industries, or if you know somebody who is interested in the industry. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for me? Silence is golden, I think. If you have any questions or would like to reach out to me, you can email me at kratza@michigan.gov. I'm located in Gulliver, so I'm pretty much centrally located, so I'm willing to travel anywhere you need me to travel to meet with you for coffee or to sit down and chat about whatever, or if we just want to meet virtual, that's great too. My phone number is 906-286-1955, and then you can go to michigan.gov to our website to check out more things, sector strategies. All right, I'll stop my share.
Well, thank you very much, Amy. It sounds like a really great resource that our economic developers, especially, and our workforce development people can connect to if they need any assistance. So, thank you very much for presenting out to us today, and you're always welcome to join us on the CEDS here for into the future. So, thank you.
Oh, definitely. I'd love to be a part of your group.
Great. And I can
Thank you.
see already see some strategies on our CEDS that you directly relate to, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But next, I
Perfect.
want to give the floor to Dana Lalone of the Michigan Workforce Development Institute, and we're really happy to have you here to talk about women in skilled trades. So take it away, Dana.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here too. And I'm going to bring up my slide show. Let's see if I can figure out how to do it. And can you see the whole screen?
I can see
Everyone?
it.
All right.
Yes,
Not like the mismatch that I'm seeing. Okay. So I am Dana Lalone, and I am the Apprenticeship Readiness Liaison for the entire UP. And I work for Michigan Workforce Development Institute. And they're out of Lansing, but they've expanded to the UP, and they've actually been here for a while, and people don't know that. We help fund programs for the summer camp that Mike Smith and Ryan Stern do during the summer for construction trades, and they participate in many things like that. And I'm sorry if you're going to hear my dogs in the background. They're horrible coworkers today. I'll go on to the next slide, apprenticeship readiness. I'm going to talk about two of our programs. We have the Access for All and WIST program, Women in Skilled Trades. And just to give you an overview of Michigan WDI, we were previously known as HRDI and LEAD. And then the Michigan Workforce Development Institute, we're a nonprofit created by the Michigan AFL-CIO in partnership with the Michigan Building Trades. And it's to support training and development in the Michigan workforce. So the first program I'll talk about is Access for All. It's an apprenticeship readiness program, training program. We pay our students $200 a week, starting the third week, to give them an incentive to be at class. Typically, the classes are in the evening online, 4 days a week, and then we do a 1 day a week in-person training for testing and any other things like that. Sorry, my dogs are so terrible today. I wonder if people can hear that. Access for All was created to create a streamlined, sustainable pipeline of talent for the construction industry. Many of the journey workers are projected to retire here in our states in the next 5 to 10 years. Therefore, creating a demand for a skilled workforce, which we already have that here in the UP, as we all know. Access for All, it targets the underserved population, minorities, females, veterans, youth, incorporates supportive and wraparound services. Access for All was developed in partnership with the building trades and aligns with the with the entrance requirements for DOL registration apprentices. The Women in Skilled Trades is I should have stepped back here. The Access for All is a 9-week program. Women in Skilled Trades is a 16-week in-person program. WIST is specific for women in skilled trades. It's a longer program in-person because we found that women entering in the trades need a little more in-person development to help them develop physical skills and some camaraderie to go into a mostly male-dominated field. Then again, this is similar to Access for All. We're creating a sustainable pipeline for our workforce. And WIST is offered to women for opportunities to explore and train for a career in all female cohorts and incorporates strength training along with supportive and wraparound services. And WIST was also developed in alignment with the trades. Program elements. We have a recruitment process, which we're currently doing right now. I have partnered with Michigan Works in Sault Ste. Marie, and we'll be doing a career, their national apprenticeship of the open house that's happening. I'll be at that event for recruitment in the Sioux. And can anybody hear my dogs right now? It's really terrible.
Yeah,
That's okay. It happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
power on.
It's a chocolate lab. She's terrible.
Mhm.
Right now we're in the recruitment process of getting people into one of our cohorts, either in the Sioux or in another area that I can get enough people involved. We also I'm working with the jail diversion program to explore what we can do there for a pilot program to help their people. So it's a process. We're also advertising, social media, word of mouth, trying to get people to sign up. It's a new program for the UP. It's been very successful downstate. So just introducing this program up here it's got some challenges because it's never been done up here. Training and mentoring, case management. All of our students, we have a case manager. They go through training. We have people that can mentor them. Classroom hours are 272 hours for classroom training. Work experience, so on the job training, 24 to 32 hours during the program, because we try to get them hands-on experience with the trades. Let me get this going here. Program requirements, they need to be at least 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED. They need a valid Michigan driver's license. They need to score at least a level 4 on work keys, applied math, geographic literacy, and workplace documents. We do offer supports for students to get prepared for that. They must pass a 10-panel drug test, which is a hurdle for people because that does include marijuana. It's legal in the state, but it is not legal in the federal government. They will need to pass a construction industry physical exam and submit to a background check. So our program is limited to that. We do not take sex offenders or people that have severe violent crimes that are recent. Okay, our curriculum, they'll develop industry awareness. They'll learn their construction math skills, employment skills, essential soft skills, blueprint reading. They'll learn a little bit about labor history, tools and materials, financial literacy, We're going to go on field trips to the different trades so they can get their work experience. They're going to learn they're going to get some essential certificates to make them more employable. Their first aid and CPR, their OSHA 30, lead, asbestos, silica, and awareness training. The North American Building Trades MC3, scaffolding, and traffic regulator. That depends on their program. Our program supports. Actually, I don't know why this slide is in there. Okay, but our equity focused ARPs are designed to open opportunities for those who have faced challenges in the past, and the curriculum is designed to develop confidence and soft skills, prepare for the workplace culture. So we also have, to help with that workplace culture, we have a placement specialist. So when an individual goes through our program, they'll meet with Daniel Torres, and he also has experience in the trades and helps them, give them direction and introducing them to getting a career going with one of our building trades constructions. So instill good communication and conflict resolution skills. A wide array of supportive services are provided via a dedicated case manager. So those supportive services could be help with transportation, childcare. If they need to get in our program, if they need a driver's license, we can assist with some direction on that. They'll be provided work boots, hard hat, and other PPE. Funding to remove barriers include childcare. I already said that. Transportation, food and housing insecurity. We may be able to help with some of those items as well. Post-program placement assistance with union and signatory contractors. We try to get our graduates in with the unions. We have a WIS graduate up here with operating engineers. Angel, she's in the Sioux. She went through the program. I'd have her here today talking, but she's working, so it's a great thing. Work experience, hands-on training, really gives students the opportunity to explore and know what field they want to go into. So we try to get them that hands-on experience. These two programs, Access for All and WIST, allow for some exploration because it's difficult for a person to know if they want to be a bricklayer, an operating engineer, or a carpenter and millwrights. And these two programs allow them to get introduced to the trades and make that decision. Our apprenticeship readiness programs are statewide. We have 10, the 10th one being here in the UP. You can see on the map they're in Lower Michigan, and they're very popular, and they are spreading. And some numbers here. At the time of making this slide enrolled, they had 352 students, 274 completed. It's higher than that now. I don't have those exact numbers. We have 223 employed. And in the industry, 169. Apprenticeships, 153. Their average wage at placement is $17.46. Share of our active apprentices compared to statewide. We have more women in apprenticeship programs than the state. We're at 37%. People of color, we're at 56% compared to the state at 12.4%. And youth, we have 59% compared to 0.7%. So we're very active and passionate about getting people to work. Again, my name is Dana Lalone. My contact information is in the slide, but I can put it in our chat. And my number is 906-236-2025. All right. Let's see. That's my quick presentation with my dogs commenting in the background.
Thank you, Dana.
You're welcome.
I'm going to lead it off with questions. Who is your ideal target for this program, and how are you reaching out to them?
For my programs?
Yeah.
Right now it's word of mouth advertising. We were doing some social media campaign in the fall, but it was having some difficulties competing with the elections. I don't know if anyone else gets that here. And, you know, because it's a new program, when I talk to people and I tell them that we'll pay them a stipend, they act like it's some kind of scam. So we'll pay you $200 a week and you'll get a gas stipend for the day that it's in person. So it almost seems like too good to be true for them. And right now, also one of my hurdles is that because I do work with other advocacy groups in the UP that get the word out, but one of the hurdles is that drug test is you know, they don't want to give up, you know, the marijuana or there's meth issues that we have here that are pretty severe in the UP. But we're working towards that. It's my population is the underserved, so any person that's underemployed needs a new path. I'm there to try and help them. Right.
Does anyone else have questions for Dana?
I don't really have a question. This is Dottie LaJoy. I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. Well, first of all, I am so happy that this program is happening. And just a little background on that is during COVID, we were trying to initiate a program, a MISTA program called, oh gosh, I forget what it was. But anyway, it was literally just doing the facade of houses in the area of just in homes right before the downtown district in the city of Negaunee. And we had a very difficult time finding contractors. And so we were in discussion with Brian Cervello at the time and Andrew and some other individuals. We're coming together. Of course, we could only meet in Teams or Zoom. And we were talking about how great it would be to be able to, you know, see young women be able to do these kinds of projects because you know it isn't like bricklaying. I mean, let's just face it, we're not physically designed to do a lot of that really heavy construction work, and so we thought that would be such a good fit, and I'm really excited to see that this whole initiative is as big and going strong as it is, and thank you for your work on that. Oh, and plus, I used to watch a lot of HGTV during COVID, and a lot of and a lot of those ladies are amazing what they're doing, you know, with rehabilitating homes, and I can see that as just being a real opportunity for young women. And plus, of course, the income opportunity too, of course, is very impressive. So, and I love that you're providing also childcare support, so and other wraparound services that help women succeed. It's all very, very impressive, and thank you.
Thank you. Also, on the Michigan WDI, if these two apprenticeship programs don't fit for your organization, contact me and I can always set up a meeting with my director and deputy director and we can discuss what we can customize to work. And if it's feasible with our grant funding. Great.
Great. Does anyone else have any questions? Well, if not, I'm going to thank you, Dana, for a great presentation, and we'll reach out if we have any questions. And you're welcome to stay on for the CEDS call and attend all future meetings too. And I'm going to switch over to my presentation. And so I was hoping that Dana and Amy's presentations could kind of transition over into our CEDS update, which our CEDS is needing an update this year. It's a 5-year plan, and we're at year 4 right now. So we have to have a adopted CEDS by the end of the year, and I'm targeting November by when we're going to have the update. but I wanted to focus on the talented workforce strategies that we have in the 2020 CEDS. And what you see before you is our strategies that we've included in that plan, our existing strategies. So I wanted to put it to you guys to see if anything is missing from these strategies that is critically important. Um, uh, these are more broad goals, and under them are specific strategies, I think. Um, in the agenda send, I sent out an excerpt from our SEDS that has those strategies detailed in it. Um, so some of the things may fall under that, but um, I also included, here, I want to focus real quick on one specific strategy here, growing the number of employed individuals. And so I spent a lot of time creating this graphic here. This required me going through 23 different PDFs to source the information from the Department of um, uh, the BLS, and then going through 23 different tables on the census site for getting the total population of each county. So what you have before you here is um, the number of employed individuals in the central UP in blue, and the number of unemployed individuals in orange. That makes up our population that's in the labor force. So everybody else here in green is not in the labor force. Well, I figured also from the census that our working age population, I was only able to get it from 2010 and on, but our 20 our working age population goes higher than our in the labor force population. So this whole portion in green here below the dotted line is the number of working age people that are not in the workforce. They're not unemployed, and they're not employed. So I think, a fair number of them could be college students or high school students, but um, I think there's also a fair number of people who are just out of work. They could be disabled as well, but I think this population is a real opportunity here, but they're really hard to target and reach out to. I think Holly Peoples, you can attest to that.
I unmuted when you started talking about this, Ryan, because I've been thinking about this for 20 years, and I wish there was an answer, and maybe I should say this out loud more often, because maybe somebody on this meeting has a thought, because we come down to, it's hard to collect this information because you almost would have to go door to door to find it out. But it's like, of those people, how many are stay-at-home moms? How many are full-time students? How many won the lottery? How many are, what of the, tens of reasons that someone has not entered or dropped out of the workforce are there? And how do we find out where they are and what's happening and re-engage those people? I mean, could we set, can we set a goal for over a 5-year period? Could we impact 10% of those people and at least have some conversations with them? But we don't know where they are. And so I'm glad you brought this up. I'm glad you're thinking about it. And I'd love to have some more conversation with you and with others and brainstorm about this, because it's a big, look at that, no, it's equal, it's been equal forever, you know, we've been looking at those numbers forever, and it's almost been like 50-50 as long as I can remember, you know, and that's huge. So that's all.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, and it was right about it was the time of the Great Recession here, right at 2009 and 2010, that we really flipped from having more people in the labor force to having fewer people in the labor force. And it hasn't recovered since then. You know, the COVID pandemic, which is at 2020, you know, we saw recovery from that relatively rapidly. But yeah, I think, you know, we have an aging population too. So the number of not in the labor force is going to, even though it's our working population is increasing right now and has been increasing over the last 2-3 years, it's gonna probably start to track downward pretty soon. So just
Ryan,
wanted to
this
point
is
that out. Go ahead,
this is
Andrew.
Andrew McNeely. I have a question and a clarification on your graph. Is the not in the labor force portion that we're looking to try to find, that between the dashed line and the orange section of unemployed in the last 10 years? Is that the unemployed that we're looking to find? Not all of the green, but just from the dashed line below, really?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so just something to chew on here for a little bit, and I just wanted to share this data with you. So, does anybody have any ideas about any of these strategies, or things that we might be missing? I also have a couple of slides. This is the statewide workforce plan that, gosh, I think this came out 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And I haven't really seen much press about it, but here's the strategies within it. It has 3 pillars: help more Michiganders earn a skills certificate or degree, and the strategies are increase degrees and certifications, reskill for industry transitions, and expand pathways to lifelong learning and career success. Pillar 2 is opportunity, and its strategies are expand career exposure, exploration, experience, and navigation, address barriers to employment and underrepresented groups, expand access to affordable, reliable childcare and elder care, and address transportation barriers. And pillar 3 is growth. Make Michigan the go-to state for business growth, provide dynamic and responsive business solutions, and support Michigan's small business and entrepreneurial ecosystem. So this is the statewide plan. Michigan Works also has their WIOA combined plan, and I tried to summarize and pull from that, and they have multiple goals here: increase access to the labor pool, increase employer engaged training, build resources, strengthen industry partnerships, support underserved populations, improve workforce retention, and promote skilled trades and emerging industries. And then finally, we have the UP labor market study that was done, gosh, I want to say 3 years ago now. And that had some strategies within it too. Utilize the data findings by county from the study to allocate resources toward workforce development needs that align with existing strategic priorities, leverage the region's engineering and technical expertise, reinforce the relationships between the private sector and education training providers to understand talent needs and develop clear career pathways. So I want to point out that this is in all three of these plans in some fashion or another, and our CEDS plan. And it's almost directly what Amy's presentation was about. So that's key.
I put a
Recommendation.
flyer in the chat, Ryan, on the Michigan State Workforce Plan as well. It's kind of just
Okay,
brings it down a little bit.
great. Thank you. Recommendation 4 is develop career exposure programs focused on K through 12 students that also engage parents. Recommendation 5, expand the region's diverse workforce by attracting new talent in high demand occupations as well as remote workers in the region. And recommendation 6 is cultivate an entrepreneurship ecosystem and support for small businesses, which is also found in the state plan. So we have 3 plans and we have the CEDS, and there's some alignment, quite a bit of alignment across all these plans. But how can we bring them more into alignment? Is there anything we can add to our CEDS plan, which is sort of the vehicle for and the conduit for federal funding for workforce and infrastructure development dollars. Does anybody have any ideas?
I appreciate you pulling this all together, Ryan. I'm really impressed that you read that combined plan. That's a big, long document. It's really nice to see these things all on the screen and see that we are really, in fact, rowing in the same direction, you know, to a greater extent than I would have thought.
Yeah, I was pleased to see that too.
I guess one thing, like looking at the number of employed individuals, looking at that out of school youth age, like 16 to 24, that's a really hard age to tap into. So what are ways that we can, tap into that age group and try to get them into the workforce and get them excited about getting some skills in order to train and get them off of, say, grandma's couch playing video games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Ryan, it's Victoria. I was just wondering if there's a way that, we've had the 2 people, Amy and Donna, giving us examples of programs that are already out there. And I know Michigan Works does too, is our way of how can we work with them to help promote the programs that are already out there? Is there something we can do, you know what I mean, working in conjunction with them? Because then those programs will help us meet a lot of our goals.
I can answer that. I can answer that. I'm sure Amy would say the same thing as spread the word. Share. I put the link to our programs in our chat, and the WISP flyer was on our in our email. I can also share the Access for All flyer. Oh, as soon as I start, they were quiet the entire time I was on mute. But sharing that information and just having everyday conversations with people, and just share my phone number, share Amy's. I'm offering you up, Amy. Sorry. Sharing, just letting people know too, because it's oh goodness, it's a hard population to reach.
So I just wanted to chirp in a little bit along with the dogs. Um, we did, so this is Dottie LaJoy, and so we had this one professor that presented at the Michigan Association of Regions annual meeting, and this was back in, I don't know, August or July or something like that. And her name was Dr. Barron. She's a John Richard Butler endowed professor. And so she talked about leadership in the field of industrial and organizational psychology and beyond, which sounds like, real heavy. But here was the takeaway that I thought was interesting, and because she talked about some of the same challenges is being able to, and this was particularly targeted toward young females, getting them to become acclimated to doing some of the tasks associated with the skilled trades, for example, welding. And so she actually brought on these virtual glasses that people can wear, and I don't know what they're called, but it showed them they could actually go through the steps, and it would just help them acclimate to thinking like, yeah, I could do that. That's something that I could physically do, and I'm comfortable with that. And then of course she had all kinds of statistics showing the success of that kind of system. So I just thought that was really interesting. And I think, so much of that is cultural too. So it is, it's not easy for young women to think about that unless they already have a background in that. So that's like a nice way to help them acclimate, I think.
That's
So.
interesting, Dottie. I don't know if you guys know this, anybody on the call, but we currently have 6 virtual reality headsets that are, it's called Transfer VR, TRANSFR VR, and they're designed for experiential learning where you put them on and in the system will walk you through like taking a condenser out of an air conditioning unit and replacing it, and you do it in a virtual environment.
Oh, cool.
I haven't put them on, but we take them around to events and stuff where kids are, and they love them. They have fun with those things.
Right.
And we're looking for other entities. If anybody on the call is interested in learning how to use them and using them, we're seeking opportunities for people to utilize them, get some time on them, because we only use them if we have an event, and then otherwise they're in a box, and that's too bad,
Is it Holly? Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, so your Michigan Works too, right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so do you utilize those during your the great event that's coming this October?
Mine Truckers?
Mine Truckers.
We do. Yep, that's one of the ones we bring them to. Yes.
Yep, I know I love that. No, you do a lot of seed planting. The Michigan WDI, they'll have their trailer for learning, hopefully by this fall, but they'll be bringing it up here next year just for those types of seed planting events.
Yeah, those are awesome. Those events are awesome where kids get to go and get their hands on it. It still blows my mind that they pour a slab of concrete and just give them what are those things called that break up the concrete?
Oh, like I know what you're talking about.
There you go, jackhammer. Let's give these high school juniors a jackhammer.
I think almost everyone on this call, Ryan, we do a lot to engage, our next population of workers, but I don't know if they're hearing us still.
I want to go back to the virtual reality. I've been able to wear those headsets when I worked at Michigan Works. I got to put one on, and Mind Trackers was really cool. One interesting thing with the VR headsets at Mind Trackers was the difference in the middle schoolers. The boys went towards all the healthcare industry, and the girls went towards the skilled trades. So it was really interesting to me, like, where is the cutoff? If in middle school they're interested in the skilled trades, and what happens to them once they get into high school? How come they're no longer interested in those skilled trades? Is it because they're intimidated by it? like Dottie said, do we have to get them more exposure to the skilled trade so that they keep wanting to pursue that industry?
Amy, this is Andrew McNeely at UPCO. So Amy, and Holly, I have two questions. So Amy, do you know how far back that research goes about where students go, where you just said middle school, the boys were healthcare and the girls were skilled trades. Do you see that in like elementary school, or is the research not there? And then the second question is for Holly, is what are the different careers or skilled trades that are available on the VR training sets?
I
Andrew,
can find that out, Andrew, and get that to Ryan. It's extensive. Sorry, Amy.
Okay.
no, you're
No,
fine.
that's great, Holly. Thank you.
I don't have any information for elementary students. It's just middle school, 6th through 8th grade information.
Okay. The reason I ask is because UPCO does an education program on power and energy for every fourth grader in our service territory. So I was wondering if you had any information about that age group.
I can see if I can find some and share it with you if I do.
I would appreciate it.
And
I can
Andrew, I
drop
think
my
you,
I'll drop my email in the chat so
okay,
everybody can see it.
sounds good. Thanks.
Hey, Ryan, this is Phil. Is there any like you're looking at this, is there any like look back over the last 5 years for all of these different strategies and evaluating, okay, we're making progress in here on this one, we just have to continue on because it takes time, but there's a real gap on this one. Is there any kind of that type of evaluation that's part of the process?
I guess we haven't really done any evaluation. Um, QPAD isn't really the the implementers or the boots on the ground, so to speak, for these strategies. They're more ecosystem goals. And so we'd rely on our partners for uh, updates on them. And I guess that's something that we probably ought to do in the future here with the CEDS if we want to make it more effective. But that's a good point, and that is something that we should be doing. Thanks.
This is a question for Andrew. Are you involved in the Marisa CTE meetings?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm the UPCO representative. I haven't been able to make as many of the meetings recently, but I work or listen, read, and talk with Eric on a regular basis.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Any last thoughts on talented workforce strategies? And that's okay if you don't have any right now. If you have any thoughts later, I'd appreciate it if you sent them to me.
So, no, Ryan, I have one thought, and I don't
Yeah.
mean to offend anybody on the call in saying this thought, but in my energy efficiency programs, my biggest hurdle with the existing workforce is the attitude of the contractors. And it's that we don't want to do anything new, and or I don't believe that it actually works even after going through training. So that's my biggest challenge. And I'm not saying anything about their skill level or anything else. It's just their attitude towards the energy efficiency work or that really is the pain point for me. But I'll just throw it out there. I don't need any answers or response, but I just wanted to put that out there as one of the barriers I've been facing for 6 to 8 years now.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that to our attention. That's something we can think about here in the future and how to engage with them, with the contractors on that. All right, I'm going to switch gears here and move on to my next topic, which is the MISHDA and RHP updates, the Regional Housing Partnership. And so I have a proposal for amending our RHP action plan. That's an action plan that supports the implementation of the statewide housing plan from our region's perspective. So we don't have all of the goals that are in the statewide housing plan in our action plan. We only have our region specific goals that draw from that. And my proposal is that we develop a goal that is in support of employer assisted housing. And so I got this idea because MISHDA recently announced an employer assisted housing fund pilot program. That program is a $10 million program which offers direct support to employers for housing for local workers. Employers can contribute matching funds in a variety of ways to help develop new housing options. In return, the housing must remain affordable for at least 10 to 5 years. And that ensures housing remains affordable. Going into it a little bit more, it's a $10 million statewide pool, so it's not a lot of money to go around when you're talking about housing development. There's $8 million available for large businesses, which are greater than 100 employees, and $2 million for businesses less than 99 employees. What gets me excited about this program is that within the program guidelines, it said there's a line that says future funding may include a target of the total funding available for or to be allocated to projects in rural communities. So that kind of indicates that it's their hope that this becomes a full-fledged program in the future, not just a pilot program, and that there may be some targeted funding for rural areas. Also in the program guidelines, eligible activities targeted to households of under 120% AMI, area median income. It includes new construction or substantial rehabilitation of rental or for sale housing. It also offers funding for programs such as a down payment assistance program or rental subsidies. So skipping down here to the very last bullet, projects must be ready to proceed prior to application, defined as having site control, site plan approval, and full financing of entire capital stack as evidenced through financial commitment letters from all applicable sources to be considered ready to proceed at the time of application. So last we received a presentation from MISHDA at the last CDO meeting about a week and a half ago. Some portion of these funds have already been spent down. Excuse me. And so if you don't have a project that's shovel ready and businesses lined up to apply for this, I think you're going to miss the window for construction and rehabilitation projects. Maybe a down payment assistance or rental subsidy program could be put together in time to apply for this. But I think this funding is going to go really quick, and there's not a lot of opportunity to apply for it this round, but if we can get our ducks in a row and get prepared for it, for if this program becomes full-fledged program, then I think we could have some opportunity there. So my proposal is this new goal: increase missing middle and workforce housing stock to facilitate greater housing choice. That's already a goal within our action plan. But I'm proposing this new strategy that is cultivate and support employer-assisted housing initiatives that leverage matching funds and incentives to expand affordable housing options for the local workforce. So I'm looking for your feedback in as we amend this, or if we don't amend this, to include this strategy. What are your guys' thoughts from the Regional Housing Partnership?
I think it's a good program to promote, especially if they're able to get more funds. Definitely.
Thank you.
Agreed, Ryan. Nice work. It's much needed and to be supported in other counties. I'm thinking about Dickinson right now with such a large employer base, and cultivating that that agreement with a few of them, and maybe even up here too. So yeah, this is definitely much needed, and I appreciate you adding it. I'm in support of that.
Great, thank you. Does anyone see a reason why we shouldn't add this to our action plan? Okay, well, if not, I'm gonna amend this and send it to Mishta then, and then we'll have a new updated strategy within our action plan. All right, and the next program I wanted to talk to you about, this was another new program from Mishta that was kind of didn't get much attention, but sorry, excuse me. This is the Mishta's first generation down payment assistance pilot program, also a pilot program. It's an $8 million program, and it offers $25,000 to first generation home buyers that meet the following requirements. And a first generation home buyer is defined by these bullets 3 and 4. The buyer has had no ownership interest, sole or joint, in another property during the last 3 years, and their parent has had no ownership interest, sole or joint, in a property in the last 3 years. I didn't include the bullet, but they may also have been in foster care. That makes them eligible. And so there's a number of other program requirements. There's a minimum 1% cash investment. And property sales cannot be more than 224,500. So this might be a nice thing that could help some of our population here. Right now, with the Regional Housing Partnership, we're working with the United Way to develop a Alice website of resources. So it's under all of the budget, under each of the budget categories for Alice, which is the asset limited, income constrained, but employed population. So they're over the poverty level, but don't make much money. So they could be one expense away from being driven into poverty. So like a big car repair or a big medical bill could send them spiraling. This website would provide resources under transportation, childcare, um, housing, utilities, food assistance, and things like that. So it'll provide resources that are local within our region that they can reach out to get assistance with a number of these. And that is in hopes of helping them reduce their rent burden, which is a strategy from our action plan. So hopefully that they can do that. Does anybody have any questions on this program? Okay, if not, I'm gonna transfer over
I
to.
did have a question.
Yeah.
So the requirement is their first generation, so even their parents couldn't be homeowners?
Yes, correct.
So if it's a 32-year-old single parent, they wouldn't qualify? Like their parent might be a homeowner.
Yeah, right. Their parent could not be a homeowner. So I think that, yeah, I'm not sure how it works with older adults. So say your parent is in independent living or something, and um, and you haven't owned a home in 3 years. I'm not sure if that qualifies you. I'm not sure. It seems like it's geared more toward young homeowners. But maybe that's just my impression of it. And
I thought 30-some was young.
It is. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. That was my.
All right, I'm gonna switch gears here and all right. So we've done a great job of spending down our regional allocation for the Housing and Community Development Fund within my neighborhood. But our CDBG balance has been very slow to draw down. We've only spent 233,500 of that since April 1st, 2024. That was partially drawn down by the Marquette County Land Bank for one of their projects. But these are funds that are only eligible to local units of government, so cities, townships, and villages and counties. There's some hesitation to apply for these funds from those entities because of the administrative burden of them and developing a program and having the capacity. Most local units of government do not have a housing specific person on staff that can work with these programs. So it'd be really great if we could develop that capacity among our local units of government. I think we have some great resources with Antonio and Nikki Bash and Build UP just announced yesterday at the UPEDA meeting that that they're looking at a new program that specifically is on brownfields, and they're going to have another resource available for that. But we need to start talking about how we develop capacity for administering these programs. I think another resource is the Office of Rural Prosperity. They're laser focused on developing local capacity. They have a grant program, which is the Regional Prosperity Grants. They've had 3 rounds so far. They have another round that's opening in the spring, so keep your eyes out for that. So that offers $50,000 grants for developing local capacity. But I think, you know, an administrative position, it might take more than $50,000. So if there's some local skin in the game too, that can support that, then that would make for a really good project. So any thoughts on any of this? Do you have any local units of government that you're working with that are thinking about using CDBG for housing programs? Well, that's what I was afraid of.
Hey Ryan,
Yeah.
just chime in a little bit. I've talked to a couple of local units, Negaunee, Ishpeming in particular here in Marquette. And to be honest, it's a pretty tall order to get them to commit the time resources dedicated to a CDBG program, even with admin on the back end. So we're still having some conversations and with other pocket communities to try to incentivize them some way, somehow, and need to kind of keep pushing that. But I know that you talked a little bit about the training coming up on April 3rd with the letter of interest model, streamlining that would be great. I'm not giving up on CDBG. I think there's a lot of potential there, but it is a very, very strict program and kind of burdensome. So I'm looking forward to seeing some good examples of some wins. And for the 2 that the land bank has under CDBG, it's been slow as molasses getting those grant agreements executed. So you know, I'm staying positive about the experience, but it is a lot for our team. So.
Yep, thank you. And speaking about our wins, so since April 1st, 2024, our region has received $3,506,600 from My Neighborhood. We're scheduled to build 54 homeowner units and 18 rental units, or that's build or rehab. So that is pretty good news. And as Antonio mentioned, the letter of interest, local units can apply to this program or send in a letter of interest, which is a lot more simple than going through the My Neighborhood application. This is for federal CDBG funds. Going through the My Neighborhood portal application portal is for state CDBG funds. Under the letter of interest for federal CDBG funds, all of the same eligible activities are included, plus 2 new categories: infrastructure for housing and manufactured housing. So that's really cool, and that could definitely support some projects. All right. All right, this brings me to grant opportunities, training, and events. So I already talked about the employer assisted housing and first generation down payment assistance in my neighborhoods. Um, Next, I wanted to talk about the Eagle Home Energy Rebates Program, and maybe Andrew McNeely would be better to talk about that if you want to share an update on that program.
Ryan, I think Andrew noted in the chat that he had to leave.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Um, so last I heard, this program is opening in late April. Pre-registration and income verifications have begun, and I provided a link to it. So if I think if you're in the UPCO footprint, it has begun already. But for everyone else, get pre-registered if your income qualified and or think you're income qualified, and they'll qualify you. And then Office of Rural Prosperity, Rural Readiness, round 4 is opening this spring. The page is linked here, but the grant is not on the website yet. For training opportunities, Delta County is having MSU Extension do their Citizen Planner program. You have to register by March 28th, so the deadline for that is coming up. That's a really great program, really comprehensive program. And so I highly recommend it. Also, this is one Will Cronin talked about, MSU Extension, setting up goals for growth. It's a strategic planning training session, and you can invite cohorts of your organization to attend this, and they work with small groups to get started on developing a strategic plan. Next, we have Michigan Association of Planning. They're having 2 trainings, one in Marquette and on May 14th, and one in Iron Mountain on May 15th. The UP Academy is focused on all government officials, legislative bodies, planning commissions, and then the one in Iron Mountain is more focused on the planning commission or training. And then in the fall, and on September 15th, CEDM is coming to Marquette, and they're going to be conducting the real estate boot camp, which is a week-long training focused on real estate development and housing. And it's kind of an expensive course. It's $900 to $1,400, and I can see how that would be cost prohibitive to some. But right now I'm submitting a grant to MISHDA to cover the expenses for some of that. So I'm hoping to cover about 15 or so registrations and lodging and travel for members outside of Marquette County. So I should know in a few weeks whether or not we got that grant, and we'll probably, if we do get that grant, then I'll send out applications for individuals to apply for those reduced registrations. And so events coming up, Office of Rural Prosperity is having their Rural Futures Summit on April 14th and 15th in Lansing. There's a Remaking Michigan Innovation Expo focused on accelerating technology adoption and digital transformation happening on April 22nd in Escanaba. The Building Michigan Communities Conference is on May 14th and 15th in Lansing. And the UP Outdoor Recreation Summit, which just started its registration, is happening on May 16th at the NMU Innovation Center. And Phil, you're in attendance. Would you like to share a little bit on this event?
Sure. Yeah, so I just dropped the link to the conference kind of website in the chat, where the registration link is, more information is, the schedules as we get it nailed down is going to be uploaded there too. So it's gonna be a great day. May 16th from like 10-ish to about 4, with potentially some like outdoor, I wouldn't call them networking activities in the morning, but more just like recreational activities. Like we're planning a hike, maybe watching the sunrise, that kind of stuff. But the biggest, kind of the two main things that we're showcasing at the event are going to be a presentation on the outdoor recreation industry growth strategy that has been in development through TIP Strategies over the last several months. They're nearing the finish line on that. We should have a draft early next week for the committee to look at. So the results of that are going to be presented at the summit, which would be really cool. And then also kind of like a subset of that is the Electrified Trails feasibility study, which is also going to be, the results of that are also going to be presented there. So it's going to be a great time, great opportunity to network, hear from a handful of different other speakers. We're going to do kind of like a distributed panel session where rather than having 6 or 8 people on the stage speaking one at a time, they're going to take different topics and go to different parts of the room. We have a lot of space to work with. If it's a nice day, we could even go outside for some of them. And then folks can wander around through the different topics that they're interested in, either sticking with one the whole time, it's about an hour and a half, or drifting through a few of them, or taking their networking conversations elsewhere too. So it's going to be a lot of fun, really cool. Hopefully the first of many to come. So yeah, you can find out more information at upoutdoor.org. We are also looking for sponsors that will help with some of the conference materials and other stuff. So if you're interested in sponsoring the event in any way, get a hold of me. I can put my email in the chat as well, or you can get a hold of Ryan and Ryan can connect us as well. So if you're interested in that, let us know. Any questions anybody has on it? Registration is $10. So want to keep it really accessible. Tell your friends.
Thanks, Phil. And I want to give my appreciation to the Summit Planning Committee. They've done an excellent job in working together to pull this event together, and everything's looking really, really great. So just wanted to share that.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, that brings us to the end. So does anybody else have anything to share that's region or relevant to regional development, or any events they want to share or things going on? We'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Hi, Ryan. It's Kathleen. Hi, everybody. From Superior Watershed Partnership. A few things, actually. So I guess in relation to what we were talking about earlier, more so like workforce development and training. Our seasonal Great Lakes Climate Corps crews, we're currently in the hiring process for that and interviewing. So the first day for them, I think, will be mid to late May. So that's exciting. And then also I know we've talked about this before. It's been a long time in the making, but our DC fast charging stations are actually being installed in Marquette in the next few weeks. We did install 2 of them in Munising. They went active and live in September. So those are located at the Munising City Hall, but the Marquette ones are being installed here shortly. So that's great. Oh, and then I actually just posted, I just put out a press release. Superior Watershed Partnership is opening our permanent e-waste collection site. So that's at our new climate office, which is right across from McCarty's Cove, but that will be open to the public to drop off any e-waste every Wednesday from 12 to 4 p.m. And I think that's it.
Thank you. I have a big box of e-waste, so I was wondering where I could get rid of it.
Yeah, I just posted on our Facebook page, but I just put out a press release too, so I'll be doing some TV and radio interviews, but I can send you the PDF of what we accept and what we don't accept. But every Wednesday, starting next Wednesday, April 2nd, 12 to 4 p.m.
Great, thank you.
That's exciting. Kathleen, I'm sorry, could you back up and say what you, what did you say you connected? I missed that.
Our DC fast charging stations. So
What are those?
we received grants in the past through Eagle Charge Up, and then also through the national, I think it was like the Mobility Challenge. But we have 2 active DC fast chargers in Munising right now. So that's at Munising City Hall. And then we will be installing the 2 in Marquette here. The equipment is here and they should be installed within the next, hopefully 2 weeks, but keep your eye out for those.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything to share? Well, if not, I'll say thank you for attending and have a good day. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Ryan. Good weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having us. Why am I not getting out of here? There.
Thanks, Ryan. I've been in and out, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you.
Thanks.
Yep.